The next session is the panel discussion, which is on leading through disruption, a CEO's perspective on AI adoption in organization. India and AI will happen post this particular session. This panel brings together CEOs who are leading the charge on using AI to transform how insurance in India is run and experienced. Our next panel is on leading through disruption, a CEO's perspective on AI adoption in organizations. Please join me in welcoming Shmt Mandakini Balodhi. She serves as Director Insurance, Ministry of Finance, Department of Financial Services, and she is responsible for administrative policy matters of the insurance sector. She brings with her extensive experience in insurance from her previous tenure with a major general insurance company and from her roles in shaping key industry initiatives. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We also have her join on the stage, Anuj Mathur, Managing Director, CEO, Canara HSBC Life. As a founding member of the company, he is known for his financial acumen and customer-first leadership. Welcome, Anuj. We have Parag Gupta, CEO, Score Say India branch. He has more than 30 years of experience in underwriting, risk engineering, and business strategy in insurance and reinsurance space. We have Parag Raja, Managing Director, Bharti AXA Life Insurance. With 25 years of experience in life insurance space, he has built strong distribution networks and driven customer-focused growth. This session will be moderated by Pallavi, Managing Director, Partner, BCG. Pallavi leads BCG's insurance practice in India and helps companies drive digital and organizational transformation. Please welcome our panelist and moderator for this discussion. Support.
Yes. And in the 40 minutes, I would want to break it into 30 minutes of questions that I have prepared. But I do want to request the audience that please, as you hear this conversation, anything that you all want to ask, we will open it up to the audience for questions. So, please feel free to hold on to your questions. We will come to it at the end. Thank you so much to all the panel members for joining us today. Our panel is on AI. While it's the most exciting word, I think we are all also very fatigued by just hearing the word AI, because no conversation, no news article, nothing can happen without AI. So I had promised our audience that we are going to keep it real and authentic, and what really AI is doing for the industry, what is the potential, and what are the, more importantly, challenges that we need to overcome to really get the benefits that we expect out of AI. So we will try and keep it as real and authentic and concrete as possible. We about 40 minutes ago launched a report with the India Insurtech Association, which was on insurance in AI. And there were 3 key data points in that report, which really stood out for me. One, as per our estimates and with the early pilots and success that we've seen, there's a $40 billion opportunity when it comes to, $4 billion profit opportunity when it comes to AI in India on the base that we are sitting on today. It's a $4 billion profit opportunity. But we are far from achieving it. 90% of the insurers are undertaking pilots, but only 7% of the insurers have actually been able to scale meaningfully any AI use case. And that's really the conundrum. While there is a huge opportunity, the scale hasn't come yet. And, would love to hear your thoughts, around this, because this was truly that data point, which stuck with me. And the last data point was because we do have a lot of insurtechs here. while the funding in the Insurtech space has been coming down, but there is a huge promise that AI brings. And that partnership between the insurers and the Insurtechs is basically what will make the difference to the industry. So given we have ma'am also here and participants from the industry, it will be absolutely wonderful to get all your perspectives on this. So Anuj, if I may start with you. So much has been said already. But in the last 1 year, concretely, what are the steps around AI that you have personally led in your organization and the learnings that you have had from those implementations?
Sure. Thanks, Pallavi. Thanks for having me here. Very interesting topic. And I think, see, a disclaimer, I'm not an AI expert. I am a practitioner in the industry, running the business. And I know people sitting here in audience know much more than me on AI as a subject, as a topic. But yeah, I would like to talk more about in terms of how we have implemented this in Canara HSBC Life Insurance, how we are getting benefit as a user. So, and you rightly said it's a collaboration between a service provider and someone who's using services, who's deploying it. So my take on this is, in fact, we are an early adopter. We have been doing things and we have things which we've implemented and running for the last 2 years. So we have hands-on experience. My team is also here and they have actually done this beautifully in the organization. So first of all, I think, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of hype around AI. But yes, when you get deeper into it, then you realize that, and then when you ask for the MOS, okay, how it is going to benefit the business, how it is going to benefit the organization, then yes, you do have challenges where it's difficult to relate and then to implement. But I think it's a big opportunity. And what we have done in last couple of years, I'd like to talk about. So first of all, what we did, we said, okay, if we have to start with this, there has to be AI governance forum. Because otherwise it's very, very risky. So this is something which we did as a foundation stone. Because AI is like a car, and if you don't have brakes there, then you can actually crash. So it can be really harmful. So if you want to do something serious on this front, then first of all, the AI governance forum is required in the organization, which can take a very balanced approach in terms of how to use it for organization's benefit, what are the controls, how do you secure information going in public domains. So all these things coming from the governance side, very, very important. So that's something which we started about 2 years back. Then we started picking up cases, and I'll like to share some of the use cases because as an organization, we have benefited from that. Hiring is a big challenge in insurance industry. Attrition is a very big challenge, and then getting people on board, ensuring that you get the right quality people who stay with the organization, who contribute to the organization is a task. So what we did, we took a tool, and that's an AI tool which we have implemented on the hiring side. And the person who applies has to kind of answer a few questions there. And then we are able to assess on the key skills. And it's not just job-related skills, which we assess through that. There are various parameters basis which we are able to assess whether that guy will stay in the organization or is just someone who is just looking for an opportunity to move on. So we have implemented, and the beauty is that scanning through thousands of CVs, meeting thousands of candidates is not possible. So what this tool does, it scans the CV of the person. When the person faces the laptop or device and is answering, it is able to tell us using that artificial intelligence, and the questions are also then kind of refreshed, so nobody can stage it. And then we are able to see, okay, whether the guy is capable, whether the guy has the aptitude. And this thing we implemented about 2 years back. We were able to hire good quality people and also reduce attrition because we knew that these are the red flags and this person is not going to stay in the organization, is not going to help. So this is one example where our hiring and attrition problem, we were able to address to a large extent. I will not say we have completely eliminated, challenges still remain, but using AI, we have been able to kind of sharpen our skills, able to reduce time because otherwise interviewing so many people and then selection process used to take a lot of time. So that's one area. Recently we have started agency channel, and there we realized that, okay, instead of traditional training, wherein you need to give classroom training to people across India, there's that very, very extensive work required. So there again, we have deployed a solution where we are able to impart training using AI and able to do it remotely. And it's very effective because we also do the assessment at the end of the training, and we have seen that there are benefits. So and I can go on and on because we have implemented AI on the underwriting side. We have implemented AI in customer onboarding. We have implemented AI in persistency management. There's so many things which we have done in the last 2 years, and we are seeing the benefits of that. In fact, recently in one of the media interaction, the person asked me that your persistency has actually gone up significantly in the last 2 years. So how are you doing it? So then I explained that this is how we are doing predictive analysis. This is how we are able to assess which are those customers who will pay and which are the customers who will not pay. So we have implemented things with proper controls, and it's working pretty well. Now the question comes of how to scale it up, because that's where you get the real juice. But we are quite happy with whatever we have done, and now gradually we are ramping it up because we have seen the success, we have seen that the controls are working, we have seen the MOS moving in the right direction. So I think this is something which will really help the businesses in future, and it's only if you're able to implement it effectively with proper controls, looking at MOS. It's not a fancy thing which every organization has to do. If you don't have buy-in for that, if you're not able to execute things rightly, then it can be a disaster also. So I'm going to stop here, and maybe I can give a few more examples as we go.
No, that was very interesting, and it's great to hear the entire value chain in which you've been able to implement AI, and that we're already starting to see benefits. So, I mean, that's where we need to get to. Maybe, Parag, if I can come to you from a reinsurance perspective, because Anuj spoke a lot about the insurance value chain, and he mentioned even on underwriting, they have implemented AI. So from your perspective, from a reinsurance perspective, which brings a lot of the underwriting data together, what are you seeing in terms of innovation, and how can we really create that data ecosystem to form the base for us to use AI effectively?
Yeah, thank you, Pallavi. So, I mean, if I look at from a SCOR perspective, so AI no longer is a future. I mean, for us, it's here. And we are trying to build it into the areas, the high conviction areas where we see the maximum impact there. Our focus presently is on to build up the foundation, E2E governance, end-to-end governance, and on the data quality. And data, as you mentioned, data is a raw material for us, and we receive the data in many forms. It's unstructured or structured data. We receive it through the submissions, claims files, the survey reports, medical reports, through the contracts. So various kind of a data we receive. And what we feel is, unless we are in a position to have the right data foundations, I think it's like building up the skyscrapers on the sand. So our focus at this moment is really to put that right, and focus is really on that. So what we are doing is, the data internally, whatever sources we receive, to try to put it into a particular form so that there is only one version of truth as an organization. And all the departments, every underwriter, pricer, modeler, for them, they have that trust on the data, that this is the data which is there. So presently as an organization, we are working on that. And definitely, again, I would like to take you to the situation where, and I tell you how the data is going to be more important for us. And we were talking about the risk landscape, So somewhere, life is full of uncertainties at this moment, if I look at it. And risk landscape is also changing. As a reinsurer, we used to feel we know certain type of risk, like cat risk or something risk. For decades and centuries, we have been writing that business. But what we have started realizing is even that's not enough. That's not good. If I look at from my perspective, I see the top 3 risks there. One is climate change, another one is cyber threats, and third one is a geopolitical instability. Now, if I see the climate change, there is earlier earthquake used to happen somewhere, cyclone happening somewhere, maybe in some part of the world something was happening. But now there is a interconnectivity element there, and which is something new for us also as a reinsurer. Earth temperature is going up everywhere across the globe. You know, the sea level is going up across the globe. So it's no more isolated or in silos incidents. They are connected with each other. Same we see with the cyber threats also. You know, it has become in our life. In earlier session, I was hearing that Mr. Rakesh Jain was talking about it, that how connectivity, you know, 50% cars will be connected. How much health data is going to be there. How much, you know, we are talking about every business is connected. In our life, digitalization is in every place, every walk of life there. So again, from them, the cyber threats are also going up. And what we realize is it has become more organized now. And it's more has become like a systemic risk, you know. The third element I was talking about, the geopolitical instability. So that's also, you can see that societies or parties are getting polarized. So because of that polarization, somewhere instability is coming. And we can see that, you know, it takes in the direction of the society unrest and those kind of things. All these three, if you look at it, they are interconnected with each other also. So the historical data, what we have, you know, with us, maybe is not going to help us much in days to come in future. What we feel is, now we have to look at the forward-looking solutions or forward-looking models. So that's where, as organization, we feel that, you know, we need to prepare ourselves for that scenario. And that's where the data, whatever we receive from various sources, is going to be our strength, I think.
That point that you just mentioned, I can't reiterate it enough because it's so critical. The past can't predict the future, and hence we need to recreate the data for, you know, intelligence to really work. So, you know, that's a point very well said. Parag, if I may come to you. I think, you know, Parag spoke about data and the criticality of data. But once we solve data, the other problem, as Anuj was saying, is the scaling up of, you know, AI pilots that we've been doing. At least what our data suggests is that many insurers are trying a lot of pilots, point solutions, but an end-to-end transformation and being able to truly scale that up is still, you know, in the works. What do you think will it really take in terms of a mindset or a cultural shift to make that happen?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I wish AI could solve this. See, in my view, the problem with scaling up any initiative led by AI is not because the algorithm doesn't work. It is because there is a leadership mindset which is ensuring it doesn't work. And I think to be speaking with utmost candor, I think it starts from the CEO himself. Because if you are going to leave AI initiatives to just the CIO to drive in the organization or you know, a small team in a particular office, it won't work. It's a mindset shift, a cultural shift. To my mind, that's the first reason why AI projects don't scale, because the leadership mindset and time, it's not there. So that's an opportunity for all of us. The second thing I personally feel is that when we are running AI projects, we are always looking for that perfect solve before we scale. And I think it's a myth, it won't happen. So we'll have to constantly work on it. As soon as any project is giving us 65–70% results accurately the way you want it, with whatever defined rules you set out at the start, I think that's good enough. You move on with that, start to scale, pivot, start to scale, improve. That's the way we'll have to do this. That's the second reason why most projects are in the proof of concept stage and they die there. It never becomes a proof of scale or proof of generating value for the business because we're looking for the perfect solve. That's to my mind the second reason. And finally, you know, every decade there is a new buzzword. Right? Abhi it's AI. Anything you do with AI, you just add AI to your company's name, valuations go up. But behind AI, there is a lot of plumbing. AI, no AI model can work whether you want to do it on revenue side, on improving productivity, on profits, on cost, on fraud detection, claims, any part of the business in insurance you look at. It can only work if the underlying data is good quality, which is what Parag was saying. And I'm just reiterating that point because there is no use of putting a very nice, swanky, Porsche car in a street which is not built well, right? So there's no use of having a great AI model if your underlying data is not good. And cleansing and modernizing and focusing on getting your data sets right is the plumbing work, which is not the so-called appealing stuff in the AI world. But that truly is the core. So to my mind, these are the three reasons. Leadership mindset starting from the top, not waiting for the perfect solve before you scale, and finally getting your plumbing on the data right. If we get these three right, easier said than done. Theoretically, I can speak this, but I must confess that we are also struggling with this in my company. We are not there yet. But when I look at why are we not there, I think these are the three areas where we need to improve, starting with me.
We couldn't have summarized it better. I think all those points resonate extremely well. So what you said, theoretically, if we were able to solve these three, we should be able to scale up. So ma'am, if I could ask you, if we are able to solve these three, is this the silver bullet that India was waiting for as all our collective ambition to really drive insurance penetration? And as someone else said in the previous panel, not for the sake of penetration, but true protection for, more than 1 billion Indians. Is this what we were waiting for?
Absolutely. And I would, as I respond to this, I would also like to respond to your earlier observations where you said, we are not able to scale up, the fundings are getting dried, the adoption rate is slower or not as what it should be. So it's just a cycle. I would just like to reassure everybody it's just a cycle. And each and every one of us in the room is equally committed to adoption, promotion, and success of Insurtech involving AI and improving the penetration and density of insurance in India. Building capacities, building resilience for the economy. That is what is the target of the government of India is. Insurance for all by 2047 would not take place by itself unless each and every one of us sitting here contribute to it. The commitment on part of government of India was shown when we started with the JAM Trinity. And now we have moved on, as somebody pointed out in the morning, Financial Inclusion 1. And now the Financial Inclusion 2 is starting, and we are seeing green shoots in terms of the parametric insurance products that a lot of insurers are using. And there's a great adoption and interest at the, from the market on those products. Another thing that I would point out, since we have a lot of Insurtechs here, is, and it was also mentioned in the panel before me, somebody was talking about the animal husbandry, the livestock, the National Livestock Development Mission. That is one growing area where a lot of support would be needed from AI. So I would urge all of you to look at that. Of course, we already have the National Digital Health Mission, which is progressing very well. And of course, we are yet to see the 100% panning out of it. But I would completely agree, with what you just said, that there cannot be all the signals starting from my home cannot be green before I venture out. Some of them will be red, others would be amber, and the rest would be green. I would have to undertake this journey. I would have to start taking a step out. So looking for a Six Sigma solution or a zero error solution is not the way. Coming to why insurance companies are slower than expected to adopt or to embrace AI? I would say that it could be because of the, not the proof of concept, but because they could be at various stages of development in terms of their IT capacities, and also the requirements could be very different depending upon the size, the niche segment that they serve, and their own legacy issues. If we see in a discussion, the requirements of each player are very, very specific and very, very typical. And we rarely get to have an agreement or understanding, a common agreement in a room when we sit down to meet the insurers, which would be true of any market. So I would again say, let us not get disheartened with that as well. My only recommendation would be to march on. It's, as I said earlier, it's just a cycle. I would say, like we recently celebrated the Shmt festival. So somebody put it very beautifully, that everybody salutes the rising sun. It's the Shmt festival which teaches us that what goes down will come up again. So it's just a cycle, and I would urge all of you to believe in the industry, believe in the economy, and believe in our capabilities as a nation. So that would be my take on this.
Perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing in the positive reinforcement. We all need to march on and overcome some of the challenges Parag spoke about. Parag, coming back to you. Sorry, the two Parags on the stage.
You can ask which.
But it doesn't matter.
You ask the question depending on the complexity, and we both will decide who will answer.
So, Parag, coming back to you, while there are challenges to overcome, with the ones that, where we've already been able to scale up, and with what ma'am said, if we march on, the impact is inevitable because the technology is so powerful. What are the early signs of impact that we have seen, which will ultimately get us to the $4 billion profit pool that is residing there? Any concrete examples that you could share with us, which will again reinforce the positive message that ma'am, just encouraged us towards?
Sure. See, I can certainly tell you that all our industry colleagues are focusing on this area and are doing various kinds of projects. Anuj, my friend, just shared what he's doing on the recruitment side, for example. There are 3 areas which we've been working on, and I have my team members here in the audience, where we are seeing concrete results. The first area that we are seeing concrete results is a new focus for our company, which is providing loans to customers proactively. See, one of the reasons why people don't like the insurance product is because it's very long term, and somewhere if they have a financial difficulty, then they are unable to pay the premium, and when that happens, the policy lapses. When the policy lapses, obviously the monies that he gets out of the product, depending when it lapses, if it's early stage lapse, is not enough. So he's a little disgruntled, the client, with the insurance sector. Now, in many of the insurance products, as you continue to pay premiums, there is a residual value that gets generated. And as insurers, this is a phenomena I'm seeing over the last few years. We've started to focus on this and say, okay, why aren't we providing loans to clients proactively? Because they have cash value in the product. It's great for the client because he gets money, the loan, whatever he takes, at a lower interest burden than what he would take. For example, a personal loan is 14-15%. Most of the loans on insurance products are in the 10-10.5%, 9.5-10.5% range. It's great for the insurance company because, the portfolio continues and so on and so forth. So it's a win-win. But the point is, how do you ensure there are no frauds, nobody's changing numbers, so that the loan doesn't, if it has to go to you, it doesn't go to him. And we all know we have these Jamtara gangs in our country who are always smarter than AI. Their AI is moving faster, so to say. So in this area, we focused and we were able to crack this in some extent, where we've been able to 5x the loans that we've been now giving to our clients. It creates a revenue stream for the company as well. And this loan is now given in 10 seconds. Now this cannot be possible if you don't have the entire process engineered with the help of AI and many other ancillaries. So this is one example. And I know I know at least 4 insurance companies whose run rates are better than us. And I think this is a very interesting proof of concept which can be turned into a proof of scale. The other area that our company has benefited from by using AI is predicting complaints. We have an issue because of whatever reasons, the number of complaints is something that we are very, very focused on, and we want to make sure that we resolve this, A, and B, we do preventive steps that this doesn't happen. But how do you, corrective measures are okay, but how do you prevent? So now there are models which the teams have created whereby we are able to predict basis certain soft measures, signals, where the propensity of a customer to complain over the next 3, 6, 9 months is high, and we start various processes kick in, if this then that, and those processes kick in to engage with the client. We've seen this reduce the number of complaints by 30%. I think, again, this is an area which is new in our company. It's about a year old in that sense, but we are seeing some tangible results. So this is the second area where we are seeing some results come through, and we are scaling now. And the third area, which is, I think, common for everybody, is the way we are doing underwriting and risk management. At the end of the day, that's what we are. We are in the business of underwriting and managing risk. So we have enough tools now deployed. We have very interesting AI models deployed, which tell us which are those 5 to 7% clients where we need to do a little deeper investigation or underwriting or various checks before we onboard the client at the onboarding stage itself, so that we are getting good quality lives, we are reducing frauds, we are reducing claims. And this model now, to my mind, is settled in the industry. Most companies are doing it. And this is showing up in the early claims ratios coming down. Claims where a client gets a claim or there's a death in the first 3 years of the policy. That's called early claims. We are seeing these numbers fall dramatically, and that is because of the underwriting rule engine, which has been created along with AI tools, which is helping us identify these risks better. And instead of making the engagement with the insurance sector very high friction, where we are asking for so many papers, documents, and medical tests, and blah, blah. This then focuses on a smaller set of people where you go deeper, and thereby you create a better customer experience for the rest of the people. So these are 3 areas: tangible, results coming, and maybe I'll summarize by saying this, that eventually any AI project will only work and get scale if it shows some results. If we don't see value in it in identifiable numbers, it'll all be nice in presentations, but it'll never see the light of day. Because eventually we'll have to allocate resources, capital, people to some of these projects. And therefore it is very critical that AI projects, even before they kick off, have very clear outcomes identified across the organization. It just helps. So maybe a little longish answer, but here are 3 areas that we as a company are seeing results in, and we are scaling now from pilots to scale. And I think a lot of my industry colleagues are also doing this. And as an industry, I think here are 3 areas where we can tap into that $4 billion profit pool.
What I really find fascinating about that answer is because it captures the crux of the issue, which is reducing the friction and building the customer trust. And it is only when we are able to do both of those that we will ultimately be able to get towards, awareness, accessibility, and then, the penetration. So, it's amazing that we are really using that to really go at the crux and the heart of the problem. You also mentioned one thing, that to make this happen, you have to allocate capital and resources, into these investments. So, Parag, if I could come to you, with the world changing so quickly, as a CEO, how do you really, in all this, flux of technology evolving, unpredictability, how do you make these capital allocation decisions? And where are you investing behind?
Yeah, so, as ISCOR presently, we are trying to move 3 levers in the organization related to AI. Some of them are simple and like one is the future at work where our, empowering our team with the third-party tools and other things. Second one is streamlining our own processes to bring the better efficiency. And third one is, which is essentially at the new solutions where, this provides us the competitive advantage. That's where at this moment as organization we are focusing. So there, we are trying to build in our deep technical knowledge, embedding it into the AI tools. And that's essentially is something what we are using. We started with the medical underwriting using that, and now we have started using it for the other P&C businesses also. After that, now we identify the 6 flagship areas. And one of them is what you mentioned, So one area is where we are looking into our P&C portfolio management. Another one is about, life and health in-force management. One is where it's a financial performance. One is the assets and liability management. And the 2 areas are, one is related to the contract AI and one is related to the data. So as organization, when we started working on our, the 3 years plan in 2023 about forward 2026. So at that time in this plan, this entire digital transformation was a part of it. And there we allocated the resources, be it in terms of the manpower required there or the technology we required or the capital we have to allocate. So at that time it was decided. So this is not, what we feel is as organization, this is not one project basis or this is not, somewhere you try to do it to address the one issue. Rather, it's a part of the entire transformation journey where we do that.
Completely agree with, 2 specific points that you made. One, this is not point solutions. It's a complete transformation and that's where the benefits come. The second thing that you also said was it's a complete new way of working. And I remember, Anuj, when I was talking to you, one of the things you mentioned was at the heart of it, people need to have the fluency with AI, need to have the comfort of using it, don't need to feel threatened by it. How are you bringing this cultural shift in the organization for people to really adopt it? Because that's truly where the value will come when people adopt it.
Right. I think Parag also mentioned that it's a tone at the top, how you set it. See, if you are working with stick approach, that I'll get this done in 6 months' time, that's my objective, you'll fail. But if you think that, yes, it's a iterative approach, let's not aim for perfection, it's more of collaboration, and if you provide necessary tools to people, I don't think so anybody would be hesitant. So there could be 2 reasons. One is will, the other is skill. If it's a will issue, then it's a bigger problem. If it's a skill issue, yes, you can still kind of train people, do workshops. So what we have done, in interest of time, basically we started with a forum, as I mentioned, and we said, okay, come up with ideas. No restriction, even weird ideas are okay. And we have seen people coming forward. Then we said, okay, we'll not put MOS for everything initially. Finally, there will be. So people felt comforted, okay, that we will come with ideas, will take time. And we have seen good progress there. Then the third thing which we did was in terms of getting core group formed. And those people are working together. And as I mentioned, see, CEO may not have best of the ideas. But as long as CEO can galvanize a team to work upon those, to brainstorm, you are done. So I think this is how we have created that comfort. And now we are seeing good outcomes. So you have to provide entire ecosystem. And you can't expect magic overnight. It takes time. There's no end to perfection. So I think one has to just embrace it and give positive messages. See, everyone is excited about AI. These days, if you go to LinkedIn, you'll find on everyone's profile, AI expert. So I think people are keen to learn. It's just you have to show them the path and you have to just get them together. So we have seen good traction.
So I think hearing all three of you, there's a lot of comfort that a lot is happening. We are seeing the results and change management is also underway. So ma'am, then the key question that remains is around AI governance and responsibly using AI, because that's the other risk. And as Parag was alluding, there are, outfits which are way ahead of, of whatever we can think of in this room. So ma'am, how is the government thinking about responsible AI usage, and any guidance that you have for, the audience here on what all we should keep in mind as we are scaling up the solutions, that so many of us here are working on?
So DPDP Act is your Bible. Kindly abide by it. Of course, the rules are yet to come to picture. Those are being framed. Again, in the Insurance Act, the amendments that are being proposed now, there also the DPDP guidelines have been incorporated, and the information sharing, the data processing, and all other related activities will have to be conducted in alliance with the DPDP Act. That is number two. The regulator also is encouraging a lot of sandbox activities. So those also can be utilized. The account aggregator framework is another bit that can be utilized for this. These are all the, and ONDC is another platform that the government is encouraging. All these provide an efficient ecosystem which should be not only able to guide but also prevent misuse of any of the information that is out in public domain. The infrastructure created should be helpful for one and all, and particularly for smaller players. And good luck with all these activities that are going on, these kinds of discussions and forums that we are all assembling and exchanging ideas. This should really help.
Thank you so much, ma'am. To the audience, any questions that you all have for the panel? Yes, please go ahead.
My question to Mr. Parag from Bharti AXA. My name is Shekhar Bura. I work for some insurance companies. I have some experience in the past. So my question is, how much of this AI is relevant to solve the real problems? Because nowadays the world is overwhelmed with too many AI apps and tools and everything. And most of this, if I start brainstorming with AI for half hour, I totally lost where I started from. So it's kind of hallucination that you get into, and then you have too much of information that it throws at you. And how do you filter that information to solve a real specific problem? Thank you.
I think it's a very good question. See, my personal view is when I started to look at AI in the early stages, even I used to think that this is a new fad. But I must say I'm a convert. So let me straight away start by saying that AI is here to stay. It is no longer concept. It is no longer good to have. It is no longer nice designations or projects. I read somewhere a very interesting quote, and it just stayed with me. And this in some sense summarizes my answer for you. AI will not replace people. Leaders who scale AI in a disciplined manner will replace leaders who don't. It is that core to our industry. In fact, all industries, but particularly to life insurance, because we are ultimately working with data and trust. Our underlying proposition is trust, and every decision that we are taking is based on data. I'm finishing my 25th year in life insurance industry, and I can tell you that we started in the first decade very rudimentary when privatization happened, but today, amazing stuff is out there, and that's why, I personally, along with my senior team, take out time to come to some of these events. A big thank you to Insurtech and Parag and, his team. We have a lot of customer data. We have a lot of insights. We need to convert them into action. AI collapses this bridge between insight and action. Number two, we are very traditional. 200, 300, 500-year-old industry. Here is a real opportunity where if we can create this ecosystem where the Insurtechs can work with us, where we have large pools of data, we have customers, we have pan-India presence, and new Insurtechs are looking for, pitching their products. And if we are open, both parties, particularly us as manufacturers, if we are open, then we can solve for some of these issues around data and conflict and confidentiality, because I think the world has moved forward, and we can truly embed some of the propositions and products that they have in our core business. My limited point is, it is as you breathe. If you don't play this game, you're out of business. And the thing about the future is that if you don't do anything about the future today, it doesn't hurt you today. But your future is bleak. AI is that. So I don't think there is a choice. We'll have to do it. We are not great at it. We'll have to learn it, mindset shift, and we'll have to be open to partner with fintechs and insurtechs.
So AI will drive the mindset, or mindsets have to drive the AI implementation?
Mindsets will have to drive. Most projects also fail because, there is no ownership of the business. AI has to be driven, AI projects have to be driven by the business heads. There has to be a clear P&L link. Then it will work. And it has to start from the top.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Any other questions?
Hi, first of all, wonderful discussion, very intuitive discussion, sir. This question is to Parag Raja, sir. Very well moderated, Pallavi. So the question is, it was extremely important the way you spelt out the importance of long-term versus short-term goals. But somewhere, this is my observation, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it, and how we can actually resolve that problem, of course, is in the war between the long-term and the short-term goals for AI processes, in separate processes, the whole intent of implementing AI at an organizational level, at a customer level, at an employee level, at a process functional level, the whole intent of implementing AI is lost when you mention that many people, unfortunately, because of the mindset, we are losing the overall goal, right? And thus reaching the $4 trillion target. So that's my thought. Do you concur with that? And where do you think this can be for every panel head? That where do you think we can actually make sure that our leaders are also not myopic in nature and trying to achieve the long-term goals of using AI to enhance stuff, right?
Any thoughts?
How many of you invest in the markets through any instrument? The others don't? Okay. So maybe 70% do. AI implementation and not losing quick projects versus long-term goals is very similar to investing. I'm a Gujarati, so I speak the investing language. When you invest, what do? You make certain trades and certain investments from a very long-term point of view. They are great blue chip firms, they are dividend paying, whatever may be your time horizon of investment, there are goals, you'll get less return, but the risk is not there, consistently outperform cash-rich companies. You do that? Those are, to my mind, the long-term infrastructure projects that every company and an insurer must focus on. But at the same time, you also make certain trades in stocks which you think are opportunistic play. It could be IPO, it could be some mid-cap, small cap that you like, you started to use that company. There are unlisted companies now which has become a very interesting investment opportunity. These are all short-term plays, right, where the alpha can be very high. Some of the AI projects are like this, and we will have to look at it like this. Now what happens in a portfolio? Some bets will work and some bets will fail. What do? You get out. You have your limits, you have your stop loss, you get out of those investments. AI projects will have to be dealt with this mindset. that we will focus on a few projects, we will do it right, we will think it through, we will have clear P&L linkages, business should own it, but in reality, some will fail. Now, when they fail, let's just make sure we kill those projects and move on. But at the same time, the projects which are working well, like the 2-3 that all of us mentioned, we need to then start putting some serious dollar behind it and scale very quickly and modify, improvise as we go along. So I think we'll have to balance both.
Parag, Anuj ma'am, anything else you'd like to add to
Yeah,
the
on
question
this
that was
actually,
asked?
just I want to add one point here, and as rightly mentioned by Parag here, you know, today I think for any organization, I'm talking about the insurance, reinsurance industry, it's a very important to be ready for the future or to work for the transformation for the future. And this future is something which is arriving faster than it's expected. So I think these bets have to be taken. We need to invest for future. And because what is there today, if we really focus only on today, I don't think it's going to be same. The time is changing very fast. Our business is changing very fast. So from that point of view, definitely the long-term investments into this are important. Just to share one example, like what we realized in last couple of years, we worked on dozens of user cases on AI. And from that, ultimately, when we started working, we shortlisted only 6, as I said, you know, high conviction bets where we felt that the maximum advantage is going to be there or maximum benefit we see there. So continually, we need to keep on doing that actually. It's not one-time exercise, and it is not that you do once actually, you know. So you need to continue doing that and investing into there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please.
We should also consider that the regulatory landscape is changing faster than expected. So with all these changes coming up, we must look at both long-term and short-term usage of AI in the business, because that is something which could certainly come to aid when, you know, trying to navigate through all these very fast changing landscape of regulations and insurance laws. Another area of opportunity would be the value-added services which are being proposed in the Insurance Laws Amendment Bill. So would a lot of adoption of AI the landscape in India. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for adding that.
I actually had a question for Mandakini, ma'am.
Just 1 second, I think. Okay, why don't you continue with the question?
Yeah. When we talk about building the trust of the end client, the biggest problem for our industry has always been the claims handling, right? I was just curious that what is the regulator or the ministry, are you driving use of technologies to monitor handling of, you know, the claim process, how it is getting done, and whether the insurance companies are doing their bit in terms of handling those grievances? Thank you.
So we have a very, very active and serious regulator, you know, when it comes to, what should I say, protecting the policyholder's interest. And of late, you would have seen there have been a lot of actions on the erring insurers also. From the Department of Financial Services side, the Ministry of Finance side also, there has been a lot of kind of push on servicing of claims, particularly the health insurance claims. Having said that, I would urge the industry to utilize AI for fraud and abuse control. Kindly look at your prevention of money laundering guidelines, not just for compliance purpose, but also to strengthen your internal checks and balances. Please look at them. You need not go by the 10 lakh limit. You can always have a board governed policy for a lower limit, and you can, you know, improve your business results there. This would work at several levels. Once, it would improve your operations. Second, people talk of missing middle, and they talk of missing middle only in terms of health insurance. There is a missing middle in every segment. This would help you to address and kind of, you know, open up that segment for you to service. So this is a completely different revenue stream. And also, this would also promote the trust and faith. Talk of the trust deficit that is prevalent in the insurance sector. So this, when you know, the more claims are being paid because you're stronger with your claims assessment, because you're stronger with your fraud and abuse control, because you're stronger with your underwriting, so your costs are getting reduced and you have more people to cover and you're able to service more customers, pay more claims. So all this would encourage a lot of adoption to insurance, encourage, you know, improve the penetration and density of insurance. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. I'm being signaled that we are out of time, but our panel members and do also have flights to catch. But before you go, I just have to ask you one question and a one-word answer. If AI could remove one thing from your life which you personally don't like to do, like ye koi aur kar deta to bahut acha hota, what would that be?
See, I think today CEOs are burdened with too many compliances. So if one thing which can happen, AI can do is take all the operational compliance responsibilities of the CEO, get it done, so that we can focus more on growth of business, strategic issues.
Perfect. Anything you all would like to add?
Yeah, you know.
Any fun things that AI should do for you all?
No, so I'm happy doing what I'm doing, you know, so I'm happy doing it. I would like AI to solve, you know, to help the underwriting and our, you know, the claims and business issues automatically. I think it's a great help to me. So otherwise, I think I'm happy. I mean, as far as my particular work is concerned, I think it's all, I mean, it's good. Yeah.
From my point of view, if we could create an AI tool which would go through the 90-slide presentation that I have to go through every meeting, identify the 3 slides, which is the crux, and finally the one risk that nobody is talking about in the room, that would be the most important thing if it can do.
I just feel like that's feedback for consultants. But on that note, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.